Chip and Dale were two little chipmunks. During the warm months, they roamed the forest in search of acorns. They hid them in tree hollows so that they would have plenty of food in the winter. One busy summer day, the chipmunks gathered a pile of acorns at the foot of a tree. Chip scurried up to a branch near a hollow. From the ground, Dale tossed acorns to Chip. Dale threw acorns to Chip all day long. When they were almost to the bottom of the pile, Dale tossed Chip something new. It wasn't an acorn, but Dale had been moving so fast that he hadn't even noticed. "Hey, Dale!" Chip exclaimed. "Come quick, take a look." "What is it?" Dale asked. "I don't know," Chip replied. "Let's open it and see." Dale ran up the tree to join Chip. They pulled at the oddly shaped object until it split open. Chip wiggled his tail with excitement. "Look," Chip cried, "there are two. One for you and one for me," said Dale. They ate the new food in just a few bites. It was delicious. Chip and Dale wanted more, but they did not know where it had come from. Just then, they heard the sound of laughter coming through the trees. "Hear that?" asked Chip. "Let's take a look." The chipmunks ran toward the noise. They jumped from branch to branch until they came to the top of a wall. Looking over, Chip and Dale saw a giraffe. They couldn't believe it. Then they realized they're at the zoo. Even better, people were tossing the mystery snack to the animals. The chipmunks wandered around. They overheard a boy talking to his father and learned that the food was called peanuts. Chip and Dale continued to walk around the zoo. They passed camels, monkeys, and bears. Before long, they came to the elephant pen. They saw people tossing peanuts to an elephant named Dolores. The elephant happily filled her trunk with peanuts and sprayed them over herself like a shower. Psh! Hooray! The people around her cheered. After a while, Dolores shot the peanuts into her mouth. Pop, pop, pop. The crowd applauded even louder. Chip and Dale's mouths began to water. They wanted those peanuts. It would be so much easier than scurrying around searching for acorns. The peanuts were a lot tastier too. Dale started running toward the peanuts on the floor of the elephant pen, but Chip stopped him. "Hold on a minute," Chip called out. "Let's wait till it's clear." So the chipmunks waited and watched. Slowly, the people watching Dolores began to leave. At last, only one man was left, and the elephant was focused on him. "Now, let's get to work," Chip exclaimed. Chip and Dale filled their arms with peanuts and began to make their escape. Before the chipmunks could reach cover, Dolores saw them tiptoeing away. The elephant was clever, though. She watched Chip and Dale sneak out of her pen. Then she unlatched the door and secretly followed them. Chip and Dale ran over to the brick wall and climbed it. When they got to the top, they hopped onto a nearby tree branch and ran toward a hollow in the trunk. They didn't notice when Dolores caught up to them, or when she stretched her trunk out over the wall and rested it on a branch. Chip ran along the tree branch past the elephant's trunk. Dale wasn't as lucky. Thinking Dolores's trunk was just more of the branch, Dale ran down it. When he came to the end of the elephant's trunk, he tossed the peanuts into what he thought was the tree hollow. Just then, Chip turned around and saw Dale. "Yikes! That's not the knot hole," Chip yelled. "It's the elephant's mouth." Dale jumped back in fright, but Dolores just ignored them. She chomped away on her mouthful of peanuts. As Chip and Dale tried to figure out what to do next, the elephant once again stretched her trunk over the wall. She took a deep breath and sucked in all the peanuts in Chip's arms. After that, Dolores turned and walked toward her pen. She had to get back before anyone saw that she was gone. Chip and Dale were shocked, but they weren't ready to give up. A while later, the chipmunks scurried back to Dolores's area. When the elephant wasn't looking, they gathered more peanuts. It was no use, though. Dolores had spotted them. She pointed her trunk toward the chipmunks and breathed in. One by one, the nuts flew into the elephant's trunk. Before Chip and Dale even knew what had happened, they heard a loud noise. Pop, pop, pop. Dolores shot a flurry of peanuts out of her trunk. Each one pelted Chip and Dale, and they were knocked right off their feet. Chip and Dale were beginning to think that taking peanuts from Dolores would never work. So the chipmunks decided to find another way to get the new food. They took a walk around the zoo. Soon they came to the monkey cage. Clap, clap, clap. Each time the monkeys applauded, their audience threw peanuts at them. Then Chip and Dale heard a sound coming from the zoo pond. They ran over and saw seals barking. Arf, arf, arf. Chip thought it would be easy to pretend to be a seal. He clapped and barked with all his might. The chipmunk opened his mouth wide, and smack, the zookeeper tossed him a cold fish. When the zookeeper realized what he had done, he felt sorry for the chipmunks. He ran off to the elephant pen. He wanted to ask his friend Dolores for a favor. Finally, Chip and Dale had given up on the peanut search. They were sitting on a tree branch when all of a sudden they heard a familiar noise. Pop, pop, pop. The zookeeper was on the other side of the wall. He sat on Dolores's head while she shot peanuts from her trunk into a knothole near the chipmunks. Chip and Dale were thrilled. As for Dolores, she hadn't wanted to share her peanuts with the chipmunks at first. In the end, she agreed. After all, she knew better than anybody that working for peanuts wasn't easy. The end.